mute this so we don't get hit. And you know what else I'll check while I'm here? I'll check our audio on the other end. It shows us. There's a little ring around it. Shows us live too when people are looking. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Oh, sweet. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that worked well, didn't it? Cool. All right. I'm on my stuff here. Try to not expand it. Okay, cool. I think that's showing. Oh, that's test.
No, it shouldn't be test.
Oh, it is?
No, it shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be. That was the old one.
Yeah. We're up.
Really? Oh, I'm on the wrong one.
Yep. Oh.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Are you sure there's two people on?
Oh, is there? Okay, cool. As long as you can see it. You know what? At this point, I don't even care if I see it. If you see something and you want to like throw a reply back, that's cool too.
Yep.
It's just the only thing left it shows is that was live 37 minutes ago.
We have one. It says yeah, so we're up.
Cool. All right, good. Cool.
As far as it says live.
I like it.
Seen it.
It's showing live when I'm looking on my phone, but it's not refreshing on my Mac. But as long as you're seeing it, yeah. I saw it on my phone, so okay, I know it's working.
We heard it.
I'm just having an issue with. Oh, there it is.
Okay, there you go.
There we go, man. There we go.
Hi,
folks. Good morning. Or good afternoon. Good afternoon.
He's still on morning time.
Still on
his
Maui time.
Morning time.
Light looks good, right? Good.
Looks good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Should we start?
Okay.
I'm going to get to my stuff. Okay, y'all. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Action Camera Live, episode 6. Glad you're keeping track of that. I wasn't sure. Starting off things with upcoming events and classes coming up. Portrait Creative Live, Portrait Creative Lighting Workshop is coming up on December 2nd. It's going to be from 3 to 5:30 with moi out at Ferrari Farms. So if you haven't been out to Ferrari Farms, super cool spot and really good place for photos, for portraits, whatever. There's like a lot of different options out there with the cornfields, and they do the pumpkin patch every year. So if you haven't been out to Ferrari Farms, you might want to check them out. They do barn dances.
What are they doing for Christmas? They do anything?
Ooh, I'll have to ask Frank what's going on with that. I think they hit all different seasons with different things. I know Halloween's that.
Right.
The pumpkin patch.
If we get, we'll fill them in next
week, right? I'll let you know. But Ferrari Farms, Frank Ferrari, his family's owned it for a lot of years. They've been in that location for a long time. So be sure to check them out. And like I said, they do a lot of their barn. They do that hot goat yoga. They do barn dances like on Saturday nights, and that thing fills up. It's really cool. They got heaters in there so it stays warm, and a lot of cool stuff going on at Ferrari Farm. So can't say enough good about them. They're awesome, and they allow us to come out there and do portrait workshops. So a lot of different options out at that venue for a lot of different cool portrait options for photos. So anyhow, join me. And hey, if it fills up, get on our waiting list, okay? Because a lot of people like to cancel out last minute. They got things going on. You're on the waiting list. I call you, and you're able to get in last minute. So make sure to get signed up either way. And if not, I'll just you'll be on the next class for the following month. So try to get these going every month. Next up is going to be our beginner photography class here at Action Camera, right in the classroom with Craig Moore, going from 5:30 to 7:30. If you've taken class with Craig Moore, you know he's a hoot, and he does a really good job with his classes. What? Oh, you want me to look? What? I've not seen anything. There he is right there. That's Craig Moore. So, yeah, be sure to sign up with him. And that goes the same with him as well. You guys get signed up and you realize the spots have filled up, just get on the waiting list because if you don't make it in off of cancellation, you'll be in the next one. So stay tuned with that. Again, with Craig Moore coming up on December 13th. Thereafter, we're doing the Christmas lights photo workshop. He's going to be teamed up with Sony with Brandon Burt out in Carson City. So they're doing this really cool thing at the governor's mansion. not inside, outside with the Christmas lights. So they did put on a pretty sweet display in Carson City. I think the whole downtown area um, is a really sweet display for Christmas lights. But the governor's mansion, I drove by it last year and pretty cray cray. It's pretty cool looking. So really big spot, a lot of lights. Learn how to shoot some low light situations. Sure, he's gonna want you to bring your tripods. So if you
Who's
got any,
that with again?
he's with Brandon Burt with Sony
And
and Craig Moore. Did you flip it? I love that picture. It's awesome. So yeah, Christmas lights, get signed up in store, online, book your spot, and again, if there's any cancellations, you can get on the waiting list. So and I'm not sure what Brandon Burt's got going, what he's doing with it, but he'll be out there and he'll might even be demoing lenses and stuff as well. So if you got some Sony cameras and you want to try some of that cool glass from Sony, now's your chance. Next up, the Intro to Lightroom, coming up with MD Welch, January 3rd.
though we have beginning digital also January 10th. Looks like.
Why am I missing some stuff here? Beginning digital, January 10th with Craig Moore again, right here at the shop. If you missed out on the first, you got the second. And well, I have right here the one on December 6th as well, the beginning.
Yeah, so there's one on December 6th. And then
It's not January 10th?
And then, yeah, see, there's a December 6th there.
Okay.
And then pre-Christmas, and then for those getting new camera gear, maybe if you're buying something.
Okay. All right,
as a
cool.
Christmas present, some people may need a little assistance.
Yeah,
with their
it's
new
a great
camera.
class for it. That's that class. They go over all buttons and dials. Craig will get you tuned in on what all those knobs and functions do on that. Just kind of help you get off the ground and going before you step into the intermediate class that he has going as well, or any of my workshops. If you're out on location, you really want to kind of make sure you're halfway tuned in so you're not missing out on a lot of good stuff that's going on. Especially over trivial stuff like, oh, I don't know what dial that was to change this parameter. So yeah, jump in on those classes. Very valuable, especially if you got this new camera like George said and you're really wanting to take the most take advantage of most of that camera has to offer. So you want to know that bad boy. But then yeah, you got the Intro to Lightroom coming up on January 13th as well from MD Welch. This is going to be part of a 3-part series. If you didn't tune in last week, I'll repeat it because that's what I'm going to do every week. So everyone's in the know on what's going on. But January 13th, and then you got the January 27th, right? January 27th, and then February 10th is MD Welch's series. The first one's going to be the introduction to Lightroom. It's running from like 10:30 to 5. You get your 1-hour lunch in the middle there, but he covers a whole grip of stuff throughout that whole series. Anything you need to know about Lightroom, MD Welch is going to cover you on that. So, and then your January 27th class is going to be introduction to editing in Lightroom. So he's going to start getting into the tools with you on it. And, you know, that's all that stuff gets locked in come February 10th. You're going to have that advanced photo editing with Lightroom with MD Welch. Like I said, they're all 10:30 to 5 classes that day. So block that day out. There's Saturdays on every day, right? Yeah, it's on a Saturday.
Yes.
So yeah, just block that day out. You'll learn a lot. You'll get a lot out of it, especially if you take all 3 classes. Stick with it through the whole series. MD Welch is the bomb. He's pretty dang cool, and he's sharp as a whip when it comes to this Lightroom business. And a photographer. He's really good. So he's got a lot to pass down. So, and then right there in the middle of the month of January, I got my astro processing class. Anybody that's been shooting astro this last year, I'm looking to take that next step and learn a little bit more about processing and handling those files on your computer with Lightroom and Photoshop. I'm the guy. Okay, I'm going to teach you all the tips and tricks to take those photos to the next level, get that extra pop out of them, make some print-worthy action. So make sure to book or stop in and get that class booked in for yourself there on January 17th. I think it's booked up, but like I said, get on our waiting list. You know, life's crazy and we never know what's going to happen, but I'm going to be doing them every month. So I got this one January 17th. There'll be one in February. So if it just so happens you didn't get locked into one of these classes, get signed up anyhow because I'll put you in and I'll announce when that class is as well, beginning of January for February. So astro processing, astrophotography processing class. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to you're going to be bringing your laptop too for that. Make sure you're up to date with the newest Creative Cloud software because there's a lot of tools that have been coming online now with Lightroom and Photoshop that I'll be explaining and using, and you want to have all that action on deck. So, and that pretty much sums it up for our classes, right? That's correct.
According to our schedule,
What we
that
got?
we're all the way into February with that.
A lot of you guys known, George has bought one too, so has Brian, but jumped into Panasonic recently. Anybody that was questioning that or wanting to learn a little bit more about it, know that now's the time because they're doing a tax-free until December 2nd. You could save a wad of cash coming and getting set up with your first Lumix camera between now and December 2nd. Also, another good time to be buying Panasonic because we got Suzette from as a Lumix ambassador. She'll be coming in and hanging out with us on December 1st from 12:30 to 3. It's going to be a Friday. We good over there? Good? Okay. It'll be a Friday on December 1st. So from noon to 3, if you were thinking about buying, but you want a little bit more information, Suzette, Lumix Ambassador, will be here to give you all kinds of information. She's also going to be talking about that brand new G9 II that just came out. It's a pretty rad Micro Four Thirds camera for anybody out there doing sports or wildlife or whatever. That G9 II is a stallion. So, but even if it ain't the G9 II you're looking at and you have questions about the S5 II or some of their other point and shoot cameras, whatever the case may be, she is the woman to ask. She will be here to answer all those questions. Hey, listen, we know something about Panasonic too. So between now and then, if you still want to stop in and talk Panasonic, we got the guys here. They know a little something about it too. Not to mention we're shooting it now. So come and have a chat. Get your hands on some of the stuff. Like I said, tax right now is waived, so you can get your buying power on point with no taxes. So check it out.
On top of some of the instant savings, right?
On top of the instant savings, yeah, because like George was saying earlier too, that GH6, if you're a cinematographer looking to get into a Micro Four Thirds cinematographer camera, there's still massive savings on that GH6 body only, and your lens body kits. There's a lot of money off those guys. So, and then also just a little sidebar too, Rokinon and some of these other brands. Rokinon's got their 35 to 150 f2 to 2.8 lens. For E-mount, that's running $260 off. It's normally $1,400. It's coming in at like, what did I say, $1,139. So we're looking for one of those wide range fast lenses. Rokinon's got a nice little price point on that. It looks all like the Tamron. If you've read about the Tamron Series 1, it's kind of the same principles. You'd come in and take a look at it. We got one on the shelf on display, so you come take a look at those. So anyhow, lots of savings. Lots of Black Friday deals going on. There's a whole pile of stuff. The whole store from front to back, you're going to see little signs up everywhere talking about all the big Black Friday savings that are going on. Even up front behind the counter with our hard goods. Example that if you were Nikon shooter and you're looking to step into one of those Z8s, that Z8 right now is $300 off. It's running $36.99. So a really smoking deal on that camera. That's a smoking camera. So if you were in the DSLR and you're, like I said, you're looking to get into maybe a full frame high res camera like a Z7 II, the Z7 II, it's normally $29.99. That dude's running $22.99. So like $700 off that guy. Same with the Z6. You don't need that high res. The Z6 is coming in normally at $19.99. It's $400 off at $15.99. So a ton of deals. Canon shooters as well. Yeah, the Canon, huge savings. There's kind of like a mixture of savings. You got the, oops, my bad. I just knocked my mic down. There's a kind of a blend of instant savings that are going on here, but you're getting $900 off the Canon R5 right now. So where it's normally $38.99, that dude's under $3,000 now. So another big reason to come in or upgrade to your R5 right here at the shop. You guys should come see us. Big savings, $900 off the R5. So, and Sony still doing their trade-up savings and their instant savings combined. So you can save a wad of cash going over to some Sony stuff as well. So a lot of savings going on. Bags, straps, accessories, video guys. I mean, coming in and take, we got some sales on Hollyland mics, the stuff we're using right now. So there's all kinds of savings. Gimbals. Oh, yeah, the SC gimbals, the Ronin SC. That's got a big savings off on it right now. So jump in on all that. So, yeah. So come in and check out our Black Friday savings. Also, throughout the show, we just kind of integrated this into our process recently as our loyal customer listener showcase segment, part of the show. And this week, I thought it'd only be according to mention this person. She actually won our portrait photog contest. Tanya Musselman, awesome portrait photographer, landscape photographer. She's not shooting portraits. She's out in Carson Valley shooting some killer landscapes. She does some wildlife stuff. I mean, I've looked through her stuff before. She's got some great photography all the way around, not just from wildlife or landscape. I mean, everything she does, I always love it. I mean, her portrait stuff. She got some wedding stuff. Um, she does a really great job, and it's probably why she won the portrait contest. She had a great submission, and she showcased at the store. So we got a little spot for her showcasing in the store here for the month. And congratulations to Tanya Musselman, not only for the portrait winning contest, but being our loyal listener customer showcase winner for this week. Um, Tanya Musselman. And it's Tanya Musselman Photography, too. If you want to check her out, go on Facebook and Instagram. Tanya Musselman Photography. Got a lot of cool stuff. Give her a follow. Check her out. Give her a review, whatever. I mean, she's fantastic. I like to promoting each other is kind of a thing. We want to build that community, just kind of like the camera shop, building the community with our photographers. As a photographer myself, I like engaging and interacting with other photographers, kind of helping each other out. We're small pieces in this big world trying to make it all happen. So check her out, Tanya Musselman. Thank you again, ma'am. And yeah, that's that. Also, up next is our tips and tricks segment. I think it's a pretty cool thing. We try to involve some tips and tricks each week. And last week's came out of a piece out of PPA magazine. This week came out of Adorama, just some tips tips and tricks for wildlife photographers. We got a lot of them in this area, and a lot of people going out like shooting horses and birds. I know quite a few of them. Got few customers that come to the shop. It's the 15 tips. Number one on our 15 tips for being a better wildlife photographer or being more prepared is going to be researching your subject and habitat, their behaviors. You're going to go out shooting birds. Know your birds or what it is you're trying to shoot. Eagles are going to move a lot differently than, say, if you were out shooting a hummingbird. Know those animals. I knew a guy that I was good friends with up in Oregon, and he was an amazing wildlife photographer. But that's because he knew his animals. He was a hunter for a lot of years, and he knew their behaviors. He knew how they moved. He knew where their herds were. So he knew the spots to go, and he knew how to shoot those guys because of their behavior. So that was a good tip. Learning the what does it say? Oh, learn from the masters of wildlife. A lot of my travel landscape, when I was learning landscape and portraits, first thing I did was get online and start looking at these guys that are visible online and how they worked and techniques they used to get those eye-catching shots that I wanted to get. So I started following them on YouTube, their social medias, seeing what kind of stuff they were posting. So yeah, don't be afraid to get out there. I'm like 40 photographers in one. It was a lot of tips and things and tools that I used from each photographer to kind of make myself up who I was today. So plan your photo sessions in detail. Always have a nice little, a checklist of things that you're going to do and planning your show. You don't want to get out there and it's, 3:30 in the morning, you're waiting for daybreak, getting that that dew shot with that bull elk that's sitting out there. You want to get those cool shots and you can't see because you forgot a headlamp or maybe you didn't wear warm enough socks. Plan all this stuff days before. Have a good plan in place. That way, come morning time, you get out there, you got everything ready to go. Or you get morning time, you get up, you got everything packed, you jump in the car and you can get a move on and you can start worrying about your shots rather than things that you may have forgot. So know your gear too. I mean, you don't want to be in a situation out there where you're stumbling to find a setting or a functionality on your camera that's going to make or break a really good shot. You're stumbling on where'd my shutter speed go? Or my aperture's off. Or quick setting for my ISO. Some of these basic things you could stumble on if not knowing your gear well. So know your gear. That's a really big one.
Which helps with some of those hot buttons that you can set up.
Exactly. Yeah, your hot button. So that's another thing. Like my camera itself has like multiple remapping options. I can set some of those hotkeys on my camera where they're right there at my fingertips. I know they're there, becomes muscle memory, and then practicing too. Just practice. If you're going to map your camera, start practicing so you can build that muscle memory. So it's second nature. Like when I go out shooting astro, that's one of the things I tell people is know your camera before you come out because you're in the dark. Have that muscle memory down to where you could change things without lighting up the whole scene. When I got the other photographers out there that are trying to shoot and we're having to kick the headlamp on a whole bunch because someone doesn't know their camera. So knowing your gear, that's really important. George will second that. He knows that. So choosing manual mode or auto mode, that's kind of like knowing your gear, know your settings. It's middle of the day, it's really bright out, and you're like, you know what, I'm really trying to focus on my shutter speeds. I'm freezing the motion. Maybe you don't need to be in manual mode. Maybe shutter priority is totally fine for that circumstance. You're not worrying about your ISO spiking in shutter priority because it's middle of the day. So that ISO is going to be living at a good threshold, and you can just concentrate on your shutter speed. Likewise, too, in the middle of a wedding, middle of the day, you got your aperture priority mode, and you're just worrying about that depth of field. Good things to know, like knowing your gear, know your settings. Another important one. So, yeah. And then what does it say here? Oh, keep your eyes open. Always looking around, moving your head around because walking in front of you, kind of like with landscape, you turn around and look because a lot of times you miss things. So, keeping that head on the swivel, watching things on. We're in a 360 world, so treat it like it is. Keep that head moving. Always watching for things. It just takes a split second, especially in wildlife, to miss something pretty rad that could be happening. So, um, make the animal the main character. So, of course, making the animal the main character, as your subject is a wildlife, but making it your main subject, but maybe add that environment with it. Keeping the animal your kind of your center stage point, but add that environment with it. If they're standing off of a branch that's close to a nest, adding them both in it, but making sure that depth of field's really giving concentration to the animal, but still adding some of that environment so it kind of tells a story. I think that's kind of cool. So, and then take a lot of pictures. It's not film, people. Okay, you got digital cameras, so and a lot of these cameras they're doing a lot of high frame rates, so you can really capture those moments, those in between moments. Especially we were talking about that G9. That thing does just an insane, like 120 or 60, 60 frames a second. Same with that. I mean, the A1 was the same way. George and I played with the A1 last year, and like a movie, it shot so fast. So don't be afraid to tick away and get those in between moments. I've had a few photographers come into the shop that when they got that A1, they were showing me some of those shots with the birds as they were coming landing on the water. It's like some of those moments that you've never seen before. So it's not film. Fire away. Let's see here. Don't interfere with the animal's lifestyle. Well, having those long lenses and having the right gear so you could be back outside of their ecosystem, not disrupting them, makes for some amazing photos. You start spooking an animal and you just catch it running away, the photo is going to tell that story. So have that have that gear where you can reach out and get these shots of them just being in their habitat because those are some of the best shots. Wildlife photographers, you see them in National Geographic all the time where the animals don't even know they're there or they're not disturbed by them. And I think that's what makes a great wildlife shot without being a wildlife photographer. So, anyhow, yeah, don't interfere with your animals. Dress for the occasion. We talked about it before, having all your pre-planning done right away. But if it's going to be a late November morning, you're going to go out shooting. Get the wools on and get your base layers on. Get comfortable because you don't want to be fighting the cold out there and freezing and have frozen hands and legs, and it's not fun. That's miserable. That'll just make for a miserable day. So, dress for the occasion. Watch your backgrounds too. You're out there shooting and you see this cool elk, and then there's a porta potty that's kind of right back behind it. You're gonna take those shots and be like, what the heck? That's pretty lame. Know your backdrops, and that goes for anything. Broken down cars, um, pre-plan. If that means you move your feet to kind of rechange your composition, shooting from a different angle to get out of that, get that cleaner backdrop. Anybody that's been doing photography in any capacity, whether it's portrait, wildlife, or anything, knows watching your backdrops. So keep a sharp eye on that. Pay attention to your whole frame. Composition's everything, and within that composition, if you got porta potties or broken down cars, it's going to eat you up when you get home and you start looking at these photos, or you're just on your way home looking at the back of your camera and like, damn, can't believe I did that. So another backdrop. Um, Anticipate the action, like we talked about earlier. Knowing your animals and knowing their behaviors. Study those creatures and know how these types of birds fly or how they move or where they're going to be at. Knowing the animal's behaviors is half of your shots you're going to be able to get to be able to anticipate those takeoffs off the water or them coming into the water if they're fishing with the eagles. Knowing all that stuff's very important. That's what gets those awesome shots that you see, and you're like, man, that's insane. That's because these guys know their animals. So anticipate the action. Know the animal so you can anticipate the action. Very important. And last, tip number 15: have patience. Anybody that's done wildlife photography knows that it's all about patience. It's kind of like when you go out fishing, and sometimes you may have that line in the water all day and you didn't catch anything. But having the patience for your wildlife shots. No one be able to. You're going to be sitting out for a while. You're going to be waiting for these moments to happen, and they may not happen. But having the patience to wait for that moment because it's worth the wait. So that's our tips and trips for the week for wildlife photography. You guys getting into wildlife? People that are in wildlife. Anybody listening right now that's in wildlife that has any better tips wants to leave some comments below. We're always about the information, getting more information from you guys, especially the ones doing it. So we're all about hearing that, but that'll be our list for the week. You can actually copy, paste, and save that, and maybe it's something you put in your notes on your phone so you can have that little checklist. So,
What Roger said?
no, what do you say?
Patience and luck.
Yeah, Roger Van Allen, his bird shots and his animal shots, they're fantastic. They're pretty amazing. And he said patience and luck. He's right. So I think he rings it true, and he's a big wildlife photographer. So look up to him as a wildlife photographer. Dude's pretty awesome. And he's a fine fella. So, yeah. Next on our list, what are we at here? Oh, yeah. So finally, last but not least, is our product showcase for the week. We talked about Black Friday sales and a lot of things going on this week. We want to product showcase some of the things we have with our Insta360 series. So in our Insta360 series, we have 3 different models. We just got a new recent model in that I'll talk a little bit about as well. But we've had these other 2 models in, the Insta360 RS1. This is the 1-inch sensor. They were co-engineered with Leica. Really killer low light performance on this Insta360 RS1. It's a fantastic camera. You got a 2-to-1 photo ratio on these guys. It's a 6,500 by 3,200 and some change sensor size. You got a 2.2 aperture on this dude. It does a lot of different video resolutions. You're at 4K at 30 frames, 4K at 25, 24 frames. You got 2.7K at 50 frames. So it also does RAW. On your photo side, you get the DNG RAW files if you guys that want to do some snap shooting and do have a little video editing flexibility. Also, all ran with the app that's available on most Android and Apple devices, so you can download that app. Really cool post-processing. I've watched George do it with his phone using that app. It's really amazing what you can do with your post after you've shot some video with one of these guys. But that is the RS, the Insta360 ONE RS. And then here is the Insta360 X3, which is the one George has, and we've used quite a bit. These guys are fantastic cameras, waterproof, up to like 5 meters, I think. So you can, underwater shooting, you can do that photo. They got a photo res of an 18 and a 72 megapixel option. In your Insta360 side, you got 5.7K, 4K, 3K. Single lens mode, if you're just running the 180 off one side or the other, you got 4K at 30, 25, and 24 frames. So a ton of video options as well as photo on both sides here. Like I said, with the X3, you do get that waterproof ability to be able to film underwater. If you head to Hawaii and you want to do some cool stuff with some underwater wildlife, that dude will be a jammer for it, both photo and video. But the video side, from what I've seen when George was doing stuff with us, like, it's pretty impressive. And the post-processing, while it records in 360, to be able to change keyframing and really get some really interesting videos out of it is pretty amazing.
And the great thing is the touch screen, that 2.3-inch
That
front screen is fantastic.
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of different attachments too. You'll see that you've probably seen throughout the video behind me. Got a lot of cool attachments. Lens protection. You can put these on these little sticky lens guards for your X3. You have that option so it protects them. Well, George and I have seen it. We had a customer walking and they had broke one of their lenses. That probably would have saved the day right there if they had one of those on there. You got the fast charger for the X3 as well. And that's
put that sticky lens guard again. Sorry, I missed it.
yeah, no worries. Yeah. So, and these just stick right on. So, and they're going to protect your glass. So, like I said, we had a customer call in. He's like, dude, you guys replaced the lenses on your X3s? I'm like, no, dude, we just sell the lens guards for them. So, key things to have. He was a rock climber. He said he bounced off the wall. But what is this, like a 3 or 4 place charger here?
Three.
Fast charger.
Fast charger.
Yeah. Fast charger on your X3 right here. Pretty nice to have, especially if this is your main jam right here. You're wanting to slam and jam batteries and not miss a beat. Our fast charger, we sell that as well. Oh, and I might have flew through that, but extra X3 battery, we sell those here as well. So, and then helmet chin mount. You want to throw something on the helmet. Dude that rides bikes and you just want that X3 footage. We also got the chin mount for that as well. So tons of accessories as well. And then last but not least, one of our newest ones that we just picked up recently is that Insta360 Go 3. So this camera, this is the 64 gigabyte edition. That little camera just pops right out of that main housing if you don't want to use the screen. That little dude is tiny, and you'll see all the different mount options. You could put that skateboards underneath a bike. It's very tiny, so very mobile. And that little camera can go in a lot of places with a lot of different accessory mounts sold by Insta360 as well. So, yeah, very customizable. Anything else to add about that, George?
On that camera there, it's removable out of the body there. It has a magnet on back, so you can throw it on any sort of metal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's magnetic. Yeah. That's right. It's pretty cool. Like I said, this is our newest one. So the Tiny Mighty Action Cam. That's what it says on the front of the box. So it's tiny and mighty. But Insta360 right here, guys. So tons of options.
Especially ski season, like Eddie's
taking
it out for skiing. You can just throw that out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Insta is fantastic because you don't have to worry about where you're actually focusing on because it's capturing everything around.
Everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, that post-processing with watching George do it, it's really cool. That software you download to your phone that's also engineered to be the app to control the camera. Just the editing afterwards to make really rad videos. It's super simple, very user-friendly. Once you get the basic handling of the tools, it's like you can make the coolest videos with it. So very cool. Insta360, all 3 in stock. Like I said, tons of accessories. Whatever you're after this holiday season for one of your family members, just for you. Maybe it's your time. You know, Merry Christmas to you. Come in and grab some of this stuff. We got a Insta360. So,
Back over. Sorry, yeah.
No, go for it.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, I'm looking here in the background. I'm seeing all the cool color from this. It's pretty cool looking, actually. I like that. Anyhow, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today on episode 6 of our live cast. Lighting, camera system, everything brought to you by the Sony cameras, Hollyland mics for our audio, and what is it? Oh,
that's the Molus 200.
That's the Molus 2.
Photix.
Yeah, our Photix box. Yeah, so really good lighting.
That back accent light is what?
That's our Pavo tube. Nanlite Pavo, baby.
That's why it looks
So,
nice.
and that's all right here at the store. So feel free to come in and check any of that out. You like the way my skin looked, right? It was nice and soft. Molus 200. Come check it out. So, all right, guys. Take care. Have a great week and a good weekend. And happy holidays to you and safe travel. And we'll see you soon.